Best way to deal with emotional feeling triggered by jealousy, resentment, and disappointment.
The way to deal with emotion is to understand the nature of emotion. The nature of emotion is impermanent, it's changing. It's not under your control. You cannot always control your emotion. Sometimes you have good emotion, sometimes you have bad emotion. The way to deal with emotion is to train your mind to be calm and to not react to emotion. Just to merely know or acknowledge those emotions, good or bad. And the way to be able to calm your mind is to meditate. You have to learn to meditate by using mindfulness as the tool. Without mindfulness, you cannot calm your mind, cannot make your mind still and not reacting. Right now, normally the mind will react to anything that it comes into contact with. Good emotion, it will react by having desire for more. Bad emotion, it will react by having the desire to get rid of those bad emotions. And when it cannot get rid of those emotions, then it becomes stressful. But if you just train your mind just to be acknowledging and not reacting, then whatever emotion that comes up will not affect your mind. Your mind will remain calm and undisturbed by whatever emotion that appears, good or bad emotion. So what you need to do is to train your mind to become merely acknowledging and not reacting. And the way to make the mind like this is to meditate, to use mindfulness to control your thoughts. If you can stop your thoughts, then you can stop your mind from reacting. So you should learn to develop mindfulness first. Mindfulness is to stop your mind from thinking aimlessly. By using a mantra, you can use a mantra to stop your thoughts. If you are thinking aimlessly, when you start reciting a mantra, then you cannot continue on thinking aimlessly. If you keep focusing on your mantra, then eventually your aimless thought will disappear. Then your mind will become calm and empty. And if you sit still, then the mind will be more still and more calm. And eventually it will stop reacting. So once you can train your mind how to not to react, then when you come across whatever kind of emotion, you can tell the mind just to be still, not to react, just to acknowledge. Then nothing can hurt the mind. No stress can happen.
ข้อที่สองนะคะ How can one reduce attachments to foods, drugs, tobacco, coffee, and sugars?
The way to reduce or cut our attachment to this thing is to see the harm in them. You have to study the nature of this thing, how it will affect your mind and your body. Too much food can cause you to become overweight, and you can have all kinds of diseases coming up. If you are addicted to drugs or alcohol, it hurt your body and also it will hurt your mind because your mind will become dependent. And anytime when you don't have this drugs or alcohol, then your mind will be miserable. So this is the first stage, is to study the nature of this thing, whether they are beneficial or they are harmful. Once you know they are harmful, if you never have them before, then you must stay away from them. Don't try to go after them. But if you already hook on them, then the only way you can do is to try to pull yourself away from them. Sometimes you need to go into a rehab or go into a meditation center where you can be away from these things that are harmful to you. But then your mind will be craving for them and you will feel miserable. And the way to stop your mind from being miserable is to learn how to meditate. Because when you meditate, if you're successful, then you can stop the misery that arises in the mind. When the mind becomes calm, then all the misery, all the bad feeling will disappear. So this is basically what you should do. Learn to control your mind, calm your mind, make your mind become still. Then your mind will be happy and contented. Then it will not desire or crave for things that are bad for the mind and for the body. Okay, go ahead. Speak close to the microphone.
Thank you. I just understand you're talking about samadhi, kanik, upachara and arpana. My question is, if somebody who is in upachar, how could he recognize in upachar? And related to that, if somebody is in upachar, what would be the next birth for him?
Okay. Can you speak clearly? Slowly?
Yeah, I said if somebody who is doing upachar samadhi, how could he recognize that he is in the upachar samadhi? And if he is in the upachar samadhi, what would be the next birth for him if he die in the upachar samadhi itself?
First of all, upachara samadhi is difficult to get to. You have to go through appana samadhi first.
Yeah, okay.
So if you have appana samadhi and then your mind begin to move away and begin to contact with various types of beings, then you are in upachara samadhi. You will be in contact with the dead, the spirit, or the devas. Like the Buddha used upachara samadhi to communicate with his mother.
Okay.
So this is something that you will know if you get there. So don't worry. The problem is not everybody will get into upachara samadhi.
Okay.
Very few people can. So don't worry. Just try to aim for appana samadhi.
Okay.
Meaning making the mind calm for as long as possible. Because then this can be used to assist vipassana in getting rid of your defilement.
Being arpana, it means that there should be no thoughts in the mind.
Right. The mind becomes still, merely knows. Only have one thing left, is knowing.
Knowing.
Yeah, and no emotion, no love, hate, no fear, no delusion.
No body pain at all.
No.
Okay. In that case, the body becomes immaterial?
The body is just like sleeping or dead, like a dead body to the mind.
Okay, in arpana.
Yeah.
And after that it crosses to upachara.
Not everybody.
Not everybody?
Yeah, not everybody.
Because as I know that if we complete this kanik, arpana and upachara, that means first part of samadhi is complete, then second, third, fourth.
No, you don't need to have upachara samadhi. For your practice for enlightenment, you don't need upachara samadhi.
Okay. Only arpana is sufficient.
You need appana samadhi, which is fourth jhana. You don't have to go into fifth, sixth, seventh, or eighth jhana either.
Yeah, because only consciousness is there in.
Yeah,
we know.
You want the mind to be calm and neutral.
Yeah. Okay. So the related question: if somebody dies in arpana or upachara, what birth he can get?
It depends on his karma, good or bad karma.
Okay.
If he still have bad karma, he could go to hell, like Devadatta. He tried to kill the Buddha 3 times. So he committed a very bad karma. So when he died, even though he had upajara samadhi, upajara samadhi cannot help him to resist the law of karma. Nobody can resist the law of karma except nibbana. You have to enter into nibbana. You have to stop your desire completely. Then the law of karma will not be able to exert its influence on your mind. Other than that, you will still be subjected to the law of karma.
Okay. I regularly can I ask question?
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody are waiting, so
It's alright. You can ask as you want.
okay. Yeah, I always heard that when person die, the last moment is very important. Last breath is very important.
It's not important. That's what people believe.
Yeah.
But the last breath is the transition point. That's all.
Yeah.
You are transiting from the body into to the spiritual realm. And whether you have good or bad spiritual, it's already decided by your karma.
Okay.
So people sometimes thought you could do the best good karma at the last minute. You cannot do that. You have to keep accumulating good karma and try to stop doing bad karma. So when you're transiting, then you will have good karma to take the mind away to heaven, to a good realm. But if you keep doing bad things all your life and you expect to switch around in your last minute, you cannot do that.
Okay. And one question always comes in my mind, and I keep on asking, but not got the satisfied answer. Is that like I'm a being? Is inside is chitta, the mind, and as far as I know that everybody says like my teachers and all those like its basic nature is to remain pure. We have made it impure, like generating defilements. So my question is that how this chitta takes birth when first time, because I am now in the lot of misery. So I feel that if I have generated a lot of defilements, then at the time of my chitta, the chitta was not intelligent enough to not to generate defilements when he was pure at the time of birth. So if you would have like
this is a misperception.
Yeah.
The chitta had never been pure.
Yeah.
It had always been defiled.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no beginning, no end to the chitta.
No beginning, no end?
Yeah, the chitta always exists. The only thing you can do is to purify the chitta now, to make it pure.
Like my chitta is different and your chitta is different, like a different quantity, because Vinay itself has started a life, I don't know how much it was. So when we clear it, chitta means one chitta has been cleared. It's kind of?
Yeah, just one, yourself, your own. You can only purify your own mind.
Exactly.
You cannot purify other people's mind.
Yeah.
You can help teach other people to purify, like the Buddha. Once he became purified, and he teaches us to purify our mind.
Okay, but how it takes birth first time? I not got the answer. Did Buddha give the answer for it? How it takes first time chitta birth or generation of chitta first time? From there it's start of life.
No first time.
No first time.
No last time. It always there.
Means
See,
if
this is a different concept from what we know. Our concept is that there's a beginning, there's an end. But with the chitta, there's no beginning, no end.
Means if I clear defilement and got the nibbana, still chitta will remain over here?
Yeah, the chitta is the one that becomes nibbana. Nibbana is a purified chitta. That's what it means. That's what it means.
In my concept, that when we got the nibbana, chitta get purified and it goes in the nibbana state. It will not remain in this changing world.
No, it just don't take birth. It doesn't take an upper body. It exists as a spiritual being.
Here only.
In the spiritual world.
Okay.
But purified, meaning no dukkha, no suffering, only happiness. Nibbanang paramang sukhang. supreme happiness when you have purifying your mind.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
I've never met Thanajan, and my hope was just to pay respect to Thanajan and maybe get a few words of Dhamma advice.
Okay.
Thank you, Thanajan.
As far as my advice is to meditate. This is your main occupation, to meditate samatha bhavana and vipassana bhavana by maintaining the precepts and to attain to the Dhamma level, different level of Dhamma. You have to meditate.
Okay.
You have to start with mindfulness. I use the 4 foundation of mindfulness as my guide when I practice. When I'm sitting, I use the anapanasati. When I'm not sitting, I watch my body movement and try to do as little as possible other work. Just do the work of meditation, staying alone most of the time. Even though living with the other monks, usually don't socialize. Just keep to myself and practice. Yeah. Okay. Don't be misled or distracted by work like building a monastery. It can take away a lot of your time and your mindfulness also. When you work, you have to think a lot. Then when you meditate, you find it difficult to enter into calm. If your mind is not calm, you can become restless and agitated. So you have to try to keep your mind calm as much as possible. And listen to Dhamma talk or read Dhamma books to inspire and to remind you what you're supposed to do.
I totally agree with Thanajan.
Yes.
It is not so much socializing with other monks,
Uh-huh.
because we have a small community and they usually like to practice. It is more the administrative work and looking after the monastery.
Uh-huh.
I was surprised even a small hermitage is a major mental engagement camp.
That's right. You have to think. There's many things you have to arrange and do. So you have to think about them. So you have to sort out your priorities, which is more important. Building a monastery or building a place inside your heart, in your home. The Buddha did his work first. He practiced and became enlightened before he established Buddhism. He didn't try to start establishing Buddhism before he became enlightened. So enlightenment is your basis of development. Whether it's a monastery or whatever, you need a clear and an enlightened mind to see things clearly and do things properly and correctly.
Thanajan, is it possible to develop mindfulness, the foundations of mindfulness, while doing the work?
Yes, but it's not as good as not doing any work, because when you do work, you still have to think. See? It's not the right kind of mindfulness. The right kind of mindfulness is just to be mindful of what you do and not have to think about what you do, like walking. When you walk, you don't have to think about walking. You just merely watch your walking. But if you have to work, you have to make some planning or things like that, then you have to use your thought. The purpose is to stop your thinking as much as possible. Because if you want to calm your mind, if you want to have samadhi, you have to stop thinking. And if you keep thinking, then it will be difficult for you to stop it from thinking. But if you're not thinking, then when you sit, you can become calm very easily and quickly.
when we started Dhammagiri, I would usually try to do the work in the morning, and we have the meal a little bit later. It's about 10:30, and I would speak to the lay people after the meal, and then I would usually go back to my kuti and come out only next morning. Do you think that this is a way of making sufficient progress, work in the morning, and then afternoon until next morning for practice?
Well, I can answer you by giving the example of Ajahn. Ajahn used to deal with people before he became fully enlightened. Then he realized he could not go to full enlightenment when he still has to involve people, be involved. So he decided to run away and live in the forest alone for 10 years in Chiang Mai. That's why he became fully enlightened. So you need to be alone completely, or else your mind will still be distracted. It's like putting water into the ice box. If you keep taking it out, putting it back in, it never get cold. But you just keep it in the ice box all the time, then it will eventually become very cold. The mind has to be inside all the time. When you come out, your defilement also come out.
Can one maybe do the meditation in retreat periods?
Yeah.
Say during the pansa, no work.
Yes.
Is that then maybe sufficient to make enough progress?
I cannot say. Maybe yes, maybe no. It depends on how intense is your practice during that time. But Ajahn, he used to get involved with people until at the age of 60, I think. Then he decided to leave everybody behind, and he went tudong in the forest in Chiang Mai from the age of 60 to 70. And after that, at the age of 70, his disciple came and asked him to come and teach. So he teach Dhamma for the last 10 years of his life, from 70 to 80. But from 60 to 70, he always stay alone. He had monks who went to look for him, and sometimes he'll let them stay for pansa, and after pansa, he'll split. He wants to be alone.
But I think at age 60 he already had a foundation of Dhamma
He must
from
have.
Sarvika cave.
Yes, right. Or else he couldn't live in the forest like that alone. At least samadhi, or maybe some level of enlightenment already. But he couldn't yet reach the highest level. Okay? Anything else?
You mentioned Luang Por Man practicing. Those days life was generally much simpler. People didn't have so much cars, they didn't have mobile phones, they didn't have social media. How can we practice nowadays with all the modern gadgets, with all the modern technology and material development?
You have to go to remote places where this thing cannot go. Like into the desert or into the forest, deep forest, where there's no mobile signal.
We do have that in Australia. But I think it would be difficult to get alms food there.
Yeah, that's probably part of the problem. Ajahn had to rely on the hill tribe people for his existence, and it's very rough existence. Very not plenty of food to eat. Hill tribe people they're not rich or anything like that.
So as I understand Thanajan, the only way to really make progress towards realizing the Dhamma is complete non-involvement with duties.
Yeah, continuous practice. Yeah, you need continuous practice. But it only takes a few. The Buddha say in the Satipatthana Sutta, either 7 days, 7 years, or 7, you will become enlightened. So just devote this time to this practice, rather than stretch it over 20 or 30 years and still not getting where you want to go.
With my level of power, I'm more worried it may take 7 lifetimes than Ajahn Khan.
You're just blocking yourself that way. You shouldn't think that way. You must think I can. If the Buddha say I can, I can. The Buddha say you can do it in 7 days, or 7 months, or 7 years.
So 7 years the slowest.
Yeah.
Good.
Just keep practicing mindfulness and try to enter into jhana as far. Once you can get into jhana, then you can move along quite fast. You need jhana, the fourth jhana, or we call appana samadhi as the basis. Once you have this, you might have the strength to resist your defilements. And when you use wisdom to teach the mind that it's bad to let your defilement, to follow your defilement, then you can stop. It's a matter of common sense, really, to see that your defilement or your desire will only lead you to more disappointment, more sadness, not more happiness. Because everything in this world that you seek for is impermanent.
How do I establish the mind in samadhi?
Mindfulness, from the time you get up, using something to keep stopping your mind from thinking. You can concentrate watching your body from the very movement, from the very first movement, from lying down to sitting up, standing, walking. Just be with the body at every step of the way. Brushing your teeth, washing your face, whatever you do, just stay with your body. Try not to think about the past or the future.
Does Ajahn mean that as a samatha practice?
Yeah,
so
you need
without
samatha.
wisdom, without investigation for?
Yes, you need samatha first before you can go to the next level of investigation. So samadhi and then panya. You need samadhi as the stepping stone toward your development of wisdom. Because if your mind is not calm, your mind will be distracted by your defilements. Your defilement will always pull your mind to go think about something else rather than the 3 characteristics or the 4 noble truths or about asubha. This is something you need a neutral mind to do it. So first you have to neutralize your mind by entering into samadhi. Samadhi is the neutral state of mind. That in samadhi you won't have any love, hate, delusion or fear.
I totally agree with Ajahn. Maybe for Ajah's mind it is easier to enter samadhi than for many other monks nowadays. If we practice samatha, but results are not that convincing, shall we not also use some wisdom even before we have attained full samadhi?
I know there's always the risk of being distracted by people who not knowing the truth, telling you what you should do. So it's better to stick to the masters if you can. Listen to the teaching of the masters. Ajahn Chah, Luang Ta Mahabua, Ajahn Man, or the Buddha himself. Don't listen to other people.
That's what I'm trying.
Listen, but you don't have to believe them.
I remember Luang Ta Mahabua's booklet, Wisdom Develops Samadhi. Can we not also use wisdom to
That's
develop
only for
samadhi?
special occasions.
Only for special occasions.
Yeah, when you cannot use mindfulness to force your mind to calm because your mind is distracted by something, then you have to investigate that thing that distracts your mind to let your mind detach from it. If you see that thing as anicca, dukkha, anatta, then you can detach yourself from it. Like you try to meditate and you worry about building the monastery, and you say, "What is the monastery?" It's just, it's something that you build, and one day you're gonna lose it anyway. So why lose your time over something like that. So when you finally get the sense of what's right or what's wrong, then you can stop this distraction, and then you can come back and then focus on your breath or on your mantra. This is what wisdom develops samadhi. When you cannot concentrate on your breath, on your mantra, because you keep thinking about somebody or something, then you have to use wisdom, which is the three characteristic. That people that you worry about, sooner or later they're gonna die anyway, because they are impermanent. Then when you get this realization, then you say, why should I worry about them now? Because worrying about them now cannot do anything anyway. I'm here and they are there, and my job right now is to meditate. So you stop worrying, and then you come back and meditate.
Not only the others, I noticed this body is a little bit impermanent as well. I noticed signs of aging.
Everything in this world is like that.
It is becoming more apparent.
Yeah. Whatever you worry about, you should always look at them as being impermanent. Then your worry will disappear. Because sooner or later you're gonna lose them. So why worry about them? Worry more about making your mind calm. Because calming your mind will make you happy and can transcend everything. Once your mind becomes calm, it will transcend all the problem of this world. All the travails of this world will not bother the mind once the mind becomes calm.
I tend to be quite happy when I'm on retreat.
Yeah,
I'm quite
but
happy.
you keep forgetting. You keep worrying about getting the monastery running. Anyway, this is just a start. Whatever you do, you have to decide for yourself.
So Ajahn would recommend from the moment of rising in the morning to do sampajanakari,
Mindfulness.
mindfulness of the bodily movements.
Yeah, what you do, just whatever you do. If you're standing, just know you're standing. If you're walking, just know you're walking. You don't have to analyze the body or anything like that. Just use the body as an anchor.
Direct awareness of all the bodily movements.
Not awareness, but just know what you do. Like if you're washing your face, just keep watching your face, and don't go think about other things. Don't think. Don't analyze the body. Don't analyze the feeling or anything of the body. Just watch. Just focus. Just mindful. Just know. This way will stop you from thinking.
And for a formal session, Ajahn would recommend then anapanasati.
Yeah, if you like anapanasati, yes.
I do know.
If you like mantra, you can use that also. Sometimes your mind is restless. Sometimes using a mantra first will reduce the restlessness until your mind can become calm enough. Then you can use anapanasati. Sometimes your mind is already calm, so you don't need to use a mantra. You can just watch your breath and focus on your breath. Yeah. So it depends on your state of mind at the time when you meditate also. Okay?
There's one other question.
All right.
I'm wondering when people are dying and they have pain conditions, should one use painkiller, should one use morphine, or should one rather try to keep the mind clear and just do
It
pain
depends on the
concentration?
strength of the mind, see. If the mind is strong, the mind doesn't need any painkiller. Because what is painful is not the body that's painful, it's the mind. And the cause of the painfulness of the mind is the fear of the physical pain, or the desire to get rid of the physical pain. This will then create this mental pain, which is unbearable. But if you know how to meditate, know how to control your thoughts, your desire, then this pain will not appear in your mind. Then your mind will become calm and lucid, as if nothing happened. So the pain of the body will be just like a pain that you experience when you have a stomach ache or headache or something like that. And it's not unbearable if you have a calm mind. So this is what samadhi is really important, see, for you to deal with pain, with everything, with losses, with pain. If you can maintain calm, then nothing can hurt your mind. Then you don't need to do anything. You can let go of the body. Let it be painful, let it die. It doesn't matter to the mind.
But if someone can't contemplate and doesn't have that samadhi, then it may be better to take the painkillers. Or
Well, then you become dependent on it, see? And then you create another problem. When there's no painkiller, or your demand becomes more and more.
mm-hmm.
It becomes a problem now in the West. People die of painkillers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can avoid using pain, it's better. It's better to use the Dhamma medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Dhamma medicine is mindfulness to calm your mind. Once your mind is calm, then the body pain will not bother your mind. Then you don't need to have to take any painkillers. I haven't taken painkillers for all the time that I've been a monk. I don't need them. I can deal with the pain of the body. Just let it be.
I've actually taken painkillers only once, 30 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But I also usually don't have much pain conditions.
Uh-huh.
I'm just concerned because sometimes I speak to people who may be passing away and they have serious pain conditions.
Yeah.
And I had the feeling that without the painkillers their mind may become very unwholesome and they may die with strong states of aversion or depression.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, because then they become addicted to the painkiller,
Mm-hmm.
and when they don't have or not having enough of it, they fall into the same trap that they try to get out of in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
The way to get out is to use your mind. Teach your mind to face the pain, embrace the pain instead of trying to push it away. What makes it painful to the mind is trying to push the pain away. But if the mind can embrace the pain, then the mind will not be hurt by the physical pain. Okay, the goal is to understand pain and accept it for what it is. It comes and goes. You cannot force them to go when they come. You cannot ask them to come when they don't come. So you have to treat them like you treat the weather.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel bad with the weather, right? If it's gonna rain today or it's gonna get hot today, you just let it happen. Same way with your body. Sometimes your body feel good, sometimes your body feel bad. It's just like this. It's like the weather. Just teach your mind to learn to accept them. Then whatever happens, it will not hurt your mind. In order to be able to do this, you have to meditate. You have to be able to calm your mind. Because when you don't calm your mind will react to the conditions of the body. Bad condition, it will try to push it away. And when it tries to push something that it cannot push away, then it becomes frustrated, become painful in the mind. But if it doesn't try to react, just let the conditions alone, then the mind will not be hurt.
Mm-hmm. Would you recommend to do dukkha vedana contemplation? I mean, by deliberately
When you're ready for it, when you have strong enough mindfulness.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
There are two steps to this dealing with the dukkha vedana. The first step is to use mindfulness, like a mantra. After you sit for a while, then the pain starts to become more obvious, and your mind starts to reacting. Then you use a mantra to stop your mind from reacting. So leave the pain alone. And if you can continue with your mantra, your mind then eventually will become calm. And then the pain will not bother the mind once the mind becomes calm. is the first way of dealing it, but this is a temporary way, because every time you meet pain, you will have to use the mantra to stop your mind, to calm your mind. Once you have this method, then the next step is to study the nature of the pain itself, to see what it is and how to deal with it. And the Buddha said it is something that you cannot control. The pain comes and goes as it likes. You cannot tell it to go away when it comes. So the best thing, the only way to deal with pain is to leave it alone. Not to react, not to have any aversion toward pain. Then once you can teach the mind, is that the problem with the mind is the aversion to pain, or the fear of pain. But once you're no longer afraid of pain, once you welcome it, then the mind will not be hurt. The mind will be happy every time it see pain. Here you come again. Welcome home. My bad son has come back to visit me again. But he's my son. You cannot tell him to go away when he comes to visit you. You just have to welcome him. If you welcome him, then everybody's happy. You are happy and the pain is happy. Then you can live with each other.
I never felt very attracted to do pain meditation.
Because you have aversion.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. But you have to understand the benefit that you get from doing it, because then you can overcome pain for the rest of your life. You will never be afraid of pain, no matter how strong the pain is. All you have to do is just keep your mind calm and not reacting. Because you can have to face them. Pain keep coming back to you. The body is the house of pain, really. That's why without the body, then there would be no pain. If you have the body, then there will always be pain. Until the body dies, that's when there will no longer be pain. But this pain is not horrible, or you can deal with it. You can live with it. Let's put it that way. But you have to know how to live with it. The way to live with it is to calm your mind and not reacting to the pain when it comes. Just leave it alone. Or you should dare to be more painful. Is that all? Can you be more painful than this? It's not that painful. The physical pain, when compared to the mental pain, is like 2 to 1.
10 to 1.
Yeah, the mental pain is 10 times the physical pain. When you have aversion or you have fear, or when you want to get rid of the pain and you could not get rid of it, then this frustration, this restlessness, this fear will create this mental pain. See? Try it.
When Ajahn was teaching, I heard Ajahn was teaching about Brahma Vihara, Metta, Karuna,
Yeah, Brahma Vihara.
Mudita, Upekkha.
This is when you have the calm mind. When your mind becomes calm, then this 4 quality will arise naturally. When you enter to jhana, the 4th jhana, then you have upekkha, and metta, karuna will be evident in your mind. When you're happy, then you don't want to hurt nobody, right?
I agree.
Yeah, okay. You want to help people, help those who are in need, and you will feel happy toward other people's success.
I was just wondering, should I not maybe develop it even before reaching 4th jhana?
No, you can't. You have to use mindfulness and get into 4th jhana. Otherwise, it will be just a fake development, not real. You can pretend that you have metta, but not real metta. If somebody step on your feet, you might get angry at that person. But if you have real metta, you won't get angry, no matter what people do or say to you. Okay.
I'm
All
sorry
right.
to take so much time
No,
from
it's
your
all right. I think
disciples. No,
people
Dhamma.
can benefit from our conversation. Besides, it's already on live broadcast also on
So I've
Facebook
been
and
on live broadcast all the time.
yeah, Facebook and YouTube,
Okay.
and it will be collected into my YouTube channel called Dhamma in English later on also. All the English language question and answer will be collected and then put into this channel called Dhamma in English. So you can take a look afterwards.
On YouTube.
YouTube, yeah,
Okay.
Dhamma in English. But it might takes a few more days before we collect and then post them. But right now it's on YouTube Live, but sometimes it's mixed with Thai. So you have to find the time frame where the English part appears.
I heard that Ajahn is never accepting invitations to go outside the monastery. Is that correct?
Yes. This way solve a lot of problems. I can always know where I will be. If I take invitation, then I fall into the hand of the people who invite me. But here, I'm always here, and if they want to see me, they come see me here. Then everybody don't miss me. See? If I go take an invitation, you might come today, and I might not be here. But everybody knows if they want to see me, they come here every day.
Because it's so wonderful to have a Krupa Ajahn who speaks perfect English like Ajahn. It's a rare opportunity to have a Krupa Ajahn where one can speak directly in English, Ajahn.
I guess so. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for coming by. If you want to go, you're welcome, or you want to sit down.
Do you mind if I just sit?
Yeah, we're going to continue on with our question-answer session until about 3:45. We have another about 7 minutes to go. So you're welcome to sit here.
Just to sit here?
Yeah,
Vandami Bhante. My question is that Buddha was born in India, and now Buddhism in India is like nothing. So why it is? This is one. Though he is like born and his teaching is in India for 2,500 years. Now, in present scenario, there is like nothing in India. This is one question, and most of the other community like Hindus, they believe that, or they say that he is a messenger of God, and supreme is something Shiva or God. So, what are your views on this clarification? I need a clarification.
Well, let me answer the first question first. Why Buddhism doesn't flourish in India? Because India had already established religion. See? So it's not easy to change people's religion. Once they are born with a certain religion, they will follow that religion because their parents break that tradition. So that's why Buddhism has to go to where there are no established religion. Once there are no established religion, then Buddhism flourishes very quickly. Like in Thailand, we didn't have any established religion before Buddhism. Sri Lanka. So this is the answer to the first question. If you go to where there's already established religion, it's not easy to develop or to expand. Like right now, we have Buddhism in the West, but only in small communities. Because in the West, they already have Christianity developed for a long time, for thousands of years. So it's not something that people will just abandon right away. Only the wise, only the person who appreciates the teaching of the Buddha will then take up Buddhism like him. He's probably born as a Christian family. But once you have read the teaching of the Buddha and you appreciate the benefit that you can get, then you will be able to switch religion. But for most people, they don't use religion. They don't pay attention too much to religion. They only use it as a little medicine to kill their fear or their sorrow when they need them. So they don't feel the need to switch religion. But for those people who study the teaching of the Buddha and then learn the status of themselves as being a traveler in the realms of birth, aging, sickness, and death, cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death, and Buddhism offer a way out of it. Then they would then decide to take up Buddhism. But otherwise, for most people, they once they have their own religion, they don't care about other religion. What's your next question?
Mostly Hinduism is dominant in India. They believe that it is a kind of one of messenger. Buddha is a one of messenger only, and supreme is something else like Shiva. They consider as a god. Yeah.
Well, Buddha is just he is the messenger. He brings us the message of salvation, how to get us out of this rounds of rebirth, in this what you call cycle of rebirth, in the Sangsaravat. I'm not sure what's the English word for it, where the mind keeps reborn and become human. After the mind dies, then it becomes different kind of spirit, and then come reborn as a human again. And you will keep continuing doing this forever until you meet the Buddha's teaching that will tell you how to stop this cycle of birth and death.
So virtually there is no concept of God as the Shiva has created this whole thing and so on.
Well, concept is not reality. See? Concept is something people create and believe in. The Buddha said the mind is the thing that has problem, that needs to be fixed. You know. So once you fix the mind, then it doesn't matter whether there's a God or no God. God has no role in Buddhism.
Yeah.
Okay. Buddha says you are your own refuge. You have to look after yourself. You have to do your own salvation. No one can do the salvation for you. Even the Buddha himself could not get you out of this cycle of birth and death.
Correct. Yeah. As I know, this is the second cycle of Buddha. We have two cycles. The Dutya Sashan, we say, second cycle of Buddha. This is Buddhism, whatever we say. 2,500 years are remaining for Buddha Sashana. So my question is that what happens after this 2,500 will get over?
Well, it means that people no longer understand the teaching of the Buddha. No people could follow his teaching. So nobody became enlightened, and nobody can continue his teaching effectively. So eventually it will be useless to people because people don't know how to use Buddhism to their benefit.
Will be monks remain there? Will the Buddhism remain in Thailand and other countries at that time?
There might be some, but I think eventually they will disappear.
Oh.
See, in Buddhism, the hard part will disappear first, the meditation part, then the keeping the sila, and then giving dana, and then eventually there won't be anything left.
Okay. Eventually, gradually it will reduce. Okay. Understand.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
Ajahn, I'm grateful for my current job, but I still have the desire to move on to another position. Should I follow this desire? And how do I know that it's the right time to move on from my current situation? Thank you.
Should you move on or not depends on the result. If you move on, it's better for you, then you move on. If you move on, then it's not better for you, then it's better to stay. If you move on and there's no difference, then you can either stay or you can move on. So you have to look at the consequence, the result of your action, whether it's gonna benefit you more or not. If you think it can benefit you more, then you go. If you don't think it makes much difference, then why bother? You stay or you can go. It depends on what the situation with your job, whether you are happy where you are or not. You're not happy, you want to change, you change. The time is when you can get the new job. If you don't get the new job yet, don't leave your old job, because then you will be out of work. So wait until you get a new job before you move on. But then you have to face the consequence. Maybe your analysis is not what you think. You might think it's gonna be better, but when you change, you move to the new job, it might be worse. So nothing is ever certain. The Buddha said the best thing is to be contented with what you have. Be grateful for what you get. So if you are happy now, why change? Why move? Stay with it. Look at life as a temporary thing. Sooner or later, you'll die. Then whatever you do, whatever you have accumulated, is gonna disappear. You cannot take anything with you. The only thing you can take with you is happiness or sorrow. So if you're happy now, the Buddha said, then you should just be contented, be happy, because you don't know what's gonna be over there on the new job. Generally, the mind is always deceived by itself. It always thinks that something over there is better than here. You don't know it until you get there. Like the saying, the cow always see the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. But once you get over there, it's just as green as this side. So it's your imagination that is deceiving you or luring you to get away from your old job, so you can get a new job. So you have to look at the fact. If you move on, you get more money and your work is more relaxed. Yeah, then why not? But nothing happens like that. The more money you make, the more stress you have. The less money, the less stress. So you have to see whether you want to pay the price. Because with more money, they expect more from you. When they expect more from you, you are pressured to perform more. Then stress will then become part of your life. Okay? So